So we were discussing about atoms and the history of atoms. In the last class we have discussed what Anthony Lavoisier has stated, that is the two laws of combination, how atoms are combining together to form molecules and from molecules to matter. Atoms will be combining together to form molecules, these molecules will combine together and at last a huge matter will be formed. Okay, so atoms are the building blocks. Atoms are the smallest units. Without atoms, nothing. We can't imagine a universe. Okay, so these atoms were combining, and for those combination there were two laws which were stated by Anthony Lavoisier. They were: the mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. It can be converted from one form to another. I have given you the example how the mass has been converted from one form to another, and I have told you in the universe at the beginning there were a lot of whatever mass is present at the initial stage of the universe, it will be always there inside the universe. Nothing will be destroyed, and also we can create more. What we can do, we can convert the form of one mass, form of an object, from one form to another. The mass can be converted from one form to another form. We can't destroy, we can't create. Okay, then the next law stated that the elements will combine, the atom will combine, the elements will have atoms in constant proportion. And I have told you the example of hydrogen, water, H2, two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom will combine together, and then that is called water. Wherever two hydrogen atom and an oxygen atom combine together, we will always call it as what? Atom, means what? Water molecule. Okay, so these were the laws of combination which was stated by Anthony Lavoisier, and today we will discuss Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton was another scientist who was studying about these atoms and all. So after Lavoisier stated, put forward these two laws, they were only laws. It wanted some explanations. So Dalton started to study on these two laws. He wanted to explain more on these two laws. That means he wanted to explain the idea of how water atoms, how they are combining together and all. So this Dalton's atomic theory is very important. There are 6 postulates. These things written on the board are the 6 postulates, and these postulates you have to be very much clear. You have to understand it, you have to study it, you have to by heart it. Clear? Okay, so Dalton has given a good explanation. He gave a great contribution to the study of this field of atoms. Okay, so we have to give a great salute to Dalton, because he gave the good, the turning point of chemistry was this. If we want to say like that, that will be 100% correct. He studied on these atoms. He gave a lot of explanations on how this chemical reaction takes place, how the molecules are combined, means what, the atoms are combining together to form molecules, how the matter is formed. Okay, so the explanations were given in detail by Dalton. So let us go in detail into all the 6 postulates. The first postulate of Dalton's atomic theory states that all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. All matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. We have discussed it in the last class. We know atoms are the building blocks and all matter is made up of atoms. That's the same thing what Dalton also said over here in his first postulate. So there is no need of any explanation for that. The second one, very important one, and also there are some conflicts on this one that we will discuss in the next class or in the next chapter. But as Dalton's atomic theory we have to study, but note it in your mind, this second postulate is having some importance. Importance in the sense there are some conflict on the second postulate. Okay, but we have to study as it is said by Dalton. This Dalton's atomic theory It is universally accepted as these 6 postulates are accepted under Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, so what does the second law states? Second Dalton's atomic theory. Second postulate states that atoms are indivisible. Indivisible means we cannot cut an atom further. Atoms are indivisible, which cannot be destroyed or created in a chemical reaction. Which cannot be destroyed or created in a chemical reaction. Can you recall something? Atoms are indivisible, which cannot be destroyed or created in a chemical reaction. Just recall. Have you studied or have you heard this sentence somewhere else? Yes. Anthony Lavoisier, law of conservation of mass. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be converted from one form to another. So this second postulate is an explanation of law of conservation of mass. It is the explanation of law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Explanation of law of conservation of mass is second postulate. Okay, so atoms are indivisible, which cannot be destroyed or created in a chemical reaction. Second postulate. That means atoms are the smallest particle and it cannot be broken further into 2 subunits. It is the smallest particle. That is what Dalton. Till Dalton's time, this was the concept. And this was true till then, but because they were not having any technologies to study more on these atoms, because atoms were all tiny, which is microscopical. We can't even imagine the size. I have told you that is very small, that we can't see with the naked eyes. Okay, so these were the postulates proposed by Dalton, by their observations, by their imaginations, etc. They were not having lot of innovative technologies and all. But then also, even then, their postulates were 99% correct. Those postulates helped the later scientists to study more and to give more contributions on this subject. Okay, so we have to we have to thank Dalton and the earlier scientists for their contributions. Okay, we have to be indebted to them. Okay, so atoms are indivisible, which cannot be destroyed or created in a chemical reaction. And what you can do is, when you are writing your note, you just underline this indivisible part, and if you can highlight it with a marker pen or highlighter, that will be good, because we have to change it after some time. This indivisible portion, indivisible, that word is the only wrong thing which Dalton has stated, that we will study. We will study how it became wrong, how it is wrong. We will be discussing it in detail in the next class. Next class means in the next chapter and all. Okay, so anyway, this we have to study, because without history, we are not person. His story. History means what? It is his story. That means the human being story is history. Without history, we are not today. Without the past, we cannot be in the present, and without the present, we cannot be in the future, because today's present will be to the future's past. So the past is the history. So without history, we can't move forward, because when we are building a huge building, the platform onwards, from the platform it starts, isn't it? From the basement it starts. Without the basement, can we do the roofing? No. Okay, so each and everything is important. Without history, we can't be in the present. Okay, so you may think that why we are studying the wrong things, because from these wrong things, and from there were the whole 5 postulates were 120% correct, and those pave way for the other scientists to think upon it and to do greater contributions. And because of a small correction, we can't deny or discard Dalton, because he has given a lot of contribution to the chemistry field. Okay, so we have to study this, but note it down, keep it in mind that atoms are not indivisible. Why? We will discuss it in later classes. Okay, so that is it. Now the third point, the third postulate. Atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. Atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. There is nothing to worry about this. This is very simple as that, because if you take an hydrogen atom, the whole hydrogen atom will have same mass. From wherever we are taking an hydrogen atom, wherever we are obtaining an hydrogen atom, wherever we are seeing an hydrogen atom, all the hydrogen atoms will be having equal mass and same chemical properties, same properties. Chemical properties means you have to understand that their tendency to react, their tendency to combine, their tendency to react, their tendency to form new molecules, their tendency to combine with hydrogen, their tendency to combine with oxygen to form water. Okay, so their properties and the mass will be same for hydrogen from wherever we are taking. The same way, the oxygen atom, how many oxygen atoms we are gathering, all the oxygen atoms will have the same mass and same weight. Okay, but the hydrogen atom and oxygen atom, if we are comparing, they will have different mass and different chemical properties. Okay, that is the fourth postulate says. Atoms of different elements will have different mass and chemical properties. So, atoms of same element will have same mass, example hydrogen. Atoms of different element, example hydrogen and oxygen, they will have different mass and different chemical properties. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, so these are the first four postulates. Now we are having two more postulates. Okay, so these are the first four postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Now the next postulate, the fifth postulate says that atoms combine in ratio of small whole numbers to form compound. So Dalton was studying about the combination of atoms. He wanted to understand how the particles are formed, how the matter is formed. So for that they were studying, they were observing a lot of examples, they were observing a lot of cases, a lot of experiments were done. Okay, from that he understood that whenever compound is formed, compound means atoms combine together, two or more atoms combining together, then we will call it as this thing as a compound. So compounds are formed in small whole number ratios. That means atoms combine in small whole number ratios to form compound. For example, hydrogen atom, water, H2O. What is the combination? Hydrogen and oxygen is present in the ratio 2:1. Hydrogen and oxygen is present in the ratio 2:1. An acid, hydrochloric acid. Here hydrogen and chlorine element, hydrogen element and chlorine atom, they are combining in the ratio 1:1, small whole number ratio. There won't be like 36:15. No, it won't be like that. The whole compound, whatever compound is there in the universe, because he have experimented a lot of compounds, and then every time he understood that the compounds are formed by the combination of atoms, and how these atoms are combining, they are combining in small whole number ratios. Carbon dioxide, CO2, carbon is to oxygen is combining in the ratio 1:2, again small whole number ratio. Okay, so this is the fifth postulate. What does it state? Atoms combine in ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. Atoms combine in ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. Is that clear? Okay, so this is the fifth postulate. Okay, now the last postulate states that the relative number and kinds of atoms in a given compound are constant. The relative number and kinds of atoms in a compound are constant. The relative number and kinds of atoms in a compound, in a given compound, are always constant. This is an explanation of another law which we have studied. Just recall it. What is it? Recall it. Law of law of constant proportion, law of constant proportion by Anthony Lavoisier. Do you remember the law of constant proportion by Anthony Lavoisier? Elements will combine, the compound will have constant proportion. Elements will be combining in what? The atoms will be combining in constant proportion in a compound. The relative number and kinds of atoms in a given compound are constant. Okay, for example, I have told you, whenever we are taking a water molecule from India, the water which is taken from the pond in India and from the pond in Africa, both will be having two hydrogen atom and an oxygen atom. Two hydrogen atom and an oxygen atom. There is no change in that. Water means it is two hydrogen atom combining with one oxygen atom, you will get water. From wherever you see a compound with two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom, you can straight away call it as what? Water molecule. There is no doubt in that. Okay, because he has experimented a lot with a lot of what compounds. The Dalton has experimented with a lot of compounds, and at last he understood that whichever compound is there, their combination, their proportion will be constant. There won't be any change in the number of atoms, the kind of atoms, the number of atoms. They will be always constant. Okay, so these are the 6 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So which are they? Just recall the 6 postulates. Matter is made up of tiny particles of atoms. First one. Atoms are indivisible, which cannot be destroyed and created in a chemical reaction. That indivisible part, you keep it in mind. Then this second law was, the second postulate was in accordance with the law of conservation of mass. Third one, atoms of same elements have same mass and chemical properties. Atoms of different element will have different mass and different chemical properties. Fifth one, the atoms combine in small whole number ratios to form compound. Okay, 1:1 in HCl, 1:1, water 2:1, carbon dioxide 1:2, carbon and oxygen. Okay, and the last one, the elements will have same number of, the compounds will have same number of atoms and same type of atoms. Okay, that means the proportion is constant. So these are the 6 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. You have to understand it, you have to by heart the concept, you have to understand all the 6 postulates, learn it, by heart it. Okay, if you are asked to write the Dalton's atomic theory, you have to write the 6 postulates without any change. Okay, so that is it. So I hope everything is clear. If you have any doubts, you can contact, you can discuss it, you can have the discussions, etc. Okay, thank you.